Hey mamas, I get how everything in divorce feels hard. Bottom line, the process isn't really set up to make it easy for you. In fact, in many ways, the system is rigged against you. But this is your life. And even if you feel like you've lost pieces and parts of yourself along the way, even if you barely recognize yourself and don't know what steps to take next, even if you feel out of control and are worried about your kids, your finances, and everything else, it may feel hard to look at places you abandoned your own needs or denied your feelings, and it may feel hard to face your fear about the future. But you know what's harder? Staying, suffocating, wasting more time trying to squeeze yourself into places you no longer fit. That's hard. Take a deep breath and sit with me for a few moments. I'm going to share a little inspiration that hit me while I was away camping. This wisdom stopped me in my tracks and made me realize we could all use a dose of it. I'm calling this conversation, It Doesn't Have to Be Hard. Hi there, mamas. Welcome to the Intuitive Divorce Podcast. I'm Kristen Noel, certified divorce coach and creator of the Best Self Intuitive Divorce, a game-changing program that transforms the experience and outcomes of divorce, one mother at a time. I call it Divorcing Differently. I'm here each week bringing you a quick message to support, inspire, and empower you to achieve the outcomes you want for yourself and your kids. So let's dive into today's episode. I just returned from a week in nature, camping in a beloved spot in Maine. It's a place of familiarity steeped in 2 decades of family memories. I'm flooded with visions of our kids riding bikes through the campsite, crabbing on the docks, cooking meals together, long chats by the fire at night, fireflies. Every time a small child crossed my path, I smiled and remembered back. Oh, my mama heart pangs. The first time we went back to the campsite alone, just the two of us, after our kids had dropped out of the tradition, I didn't think I could face it. I thought I would miss them too much, and that I'd be haunted by routines and pace. At first, admittedly, there was a bit of that. But just like any kind of empty nesting or co-parenting scheduling, when we stop resisting, we start revealing. We create space for something else to emerge. We lean into flow. We trust and exhale. New routines emerge, new paces set, new ways of being unfold. Now I laugh because I'm so entrenched in these new ways of being that when the kids wanted to come back, we said no. We started to like our time away by ourselves, not attending to everyone else's needs, wants, and desires. These days, I'm open to going with the flow and seeing where it takes us. It's a much less stressful approach. I've resigned from trying to control everything, which brings me to what I want to share with you today. For me, Maine is a place that calms my entire being, most of the time. Of course, as they say, you bring your baggage along with you wherever you go. It takes a little time to sink into a new groove and pace, and to be aware of how you are feeling and what is coming up for you. Self-awareness is a tool of transformation. It is a powerful strategy for any form of life adversity, especially divorce. Again, it doesn't mean that you won't feel discomfort or disappointment. It actually means that you won't try to wrestle it to the ground and instead will ask it, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Show me. Direct me to. I made a little discovery about myself on this trip, and I want to share it with you because it was so simple and yet so profound. Let me set the stage. I've been working on some pretty exciting stuff with getting my intuitive divorce book out into the world. Before we left on the trip, I completed a huge milestone and put the book proposal out to agents. And then I set myself up. As I hiked my way through Acadia National Park, my mind would wander. When will I hear back? Will they like it? What if they don't? You get the point. Essentially, I felt like my fate was in the hands of others. Sound familiar? One day in the car, I found myself a little cranky, which is code for feeling anxious. Suddenly a text came through with some really good news. I felt the relief in every cell of my body. Oh my God, is this really happening? In only a week? Could it really be that simple? Bill turned to me and said, it doesn't have to be hard. Those words hit me like salve for an aching soul. It was as if they were the wisest words I had ever heard. Pure truth lands that way. Yes, just what if it doesn't have to be hard? Huh, imagine that. I tell you this because we set ourselves up every day in so many ways without recognizing it. But the truth is that we decide if it has to be hard or not. Sure, there's much that isn't in our control, but there is much that is. Mainly, how we view the circumstances before us and what we make them to mean about us. Think about that again. Mainly, how we view the circumstances before us and what we make them to mean about us. Let's just get this off the table. Divorce will feel like a ride on an emotional roller coaster. It'll toss you around. Maybe it will excite you. Maybe it will fill you with fear. But the bottom line is that whether you initiated it or it was dropped in your lap, something needs to change. Something needs your attention, not your denial. I'm in no way dismissing the enormity of this process, but I do want you to know that even though you may be feeling extraordinarily powerless at the moment, there is much you can do to help yourself and your kids through it all. I don't say these words lightly, but during this time of uncoupling and dismantling, there is opportunity for healing, opportunity for reimagining. When a red light on the dashboard of your car starts flashing, it's indicating a need. You don't deny that something needs attention. You don't risk breaking down on the side of the road. What if the same holds true here? When we feel rumbling within, when we feel discomfort, when we are uneasy, sad, disconnected, isolated, lost, or stuck, when we no longer recognize ourselves, the red lights are flashing. You are allowed to have needs, Mama. I want you to know that even if you are taken for a bumpy ride through this divorce, even if you feel totally out of control, trust me when I say that you can choose to heal. You can control your experience. You can model how to navigate adversity for your kids. You can show up on the other side of this all a completely new woman with a fresh, new, empowered perspective. The opportunity to do all of that is right now in tandem with the messiness. You don't have to put life on hold. You don't have to put living on hold. You can find ways to nurture yourself, be more present with your kids, and keep your divorce on track while saving time, money, and heartache. In fact, it's all intertwined. And while you may not know what steps to take first, and it may feel uncomfortable to lean into new routines, I share the advice Bill gave to me. It doesn't have to be hard. If this sounds good to you, if you want to divorce differently, learn to harness the power of your intuition so you can trust yourself to make the big decisions, show up for the tough conversations, and guide your kids, lean in, Mama. I got you. It's called the intuitive divorce. Before I sign off, I also want to leave you with this line from a book that I recently read, The Tell by Amy Griffin. Just because I was underwater didn't mean I was going to drown. Thanks for listening to today's episode, but more importantly, for making this time for yourself. If you're a professional, independent mother facing off with divorce, struggling with your emotions, worried about your kids and your future, and want a better way to navigate it all, I've got 2 ways to completely change the trajectory of your divorce and your life starting today. The first is our free divorce workshop. In this training, you'll learn the 3 steps to get off the emotional roller coaster and take control of your divorce so you can save time, money, and heartache for you and your family. Simply go to intuitivedivorce.com/workshop. And the second way is to book a free strategy call with our team, where we'll dive into your situation, your struggles, what you really want, and outline a path to get you there. For a short video and the booking link, go to intuitivedivorce.com/call. Check it out, and I'll see you inside. Now I have a favor to ask you, Mama. If you enjoyed this conversation and were inspired in your own divorce, please subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss future juicy talks. And I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a review so together we can help other mamas walking in the same shoes.